Are you beginning to feel uncomfortable where you are? Are you beginning to sense the need, but can't pinpoint where and how to go about it? Do you want to know if God is asking you to move? In today's video, you'll discover signs from God indicating it is time to grow. Refusing to respond with action as God would want you to might hinder your next level of blessings. God created you to be a being that is constantly evolving. Just as you physically grow, God wants you to grow financially, mentally, emotionally, in health, and in any sphere you can think of. He wants you to prosper and enjoy an increase in all areas, which is why He will never let you dwell too long in your comfort zone. Isaiah 60 verse 1 says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." But how do you know when it's time to arise and make changes to grow? Certain things can stand as pointers. If you observe them, it is time for growth. Number 1. When you notice that desire to fellowship with God, it is time to make your relationship stronger. He put those yearnings in you. They are to lead you to the place of studying the Word and prayer, practicing stillness before Him and learning to know His voice. Anytime God wants to start any work in your life, He will lead you to Himself. This is because a deep connection with Him will strengthen His voice of direction in your life. You need God's guidance so you know exactly what you should be doing in your growing season. Number 2. When your current space becomes uncomfortable, God is speaking to you. It is normal for you not to see a reason for change when you are doing well. If you are comfortable, you might think growth is unnecessary. So when you find yourself suddenly struggling in a place that once gave you comfort, it is time to leave. Think about Elijah. He enjoyed the water from the brooks and meals from a raven for a while. When God wanted him to make a change, He cut the supply. That was enough of a sign for Elijah to move from where he was. When God wants you to grow into bigger things, He will dry your water brooks. Number 3. When God starts to reveal big visions to you about your future, He is asking you to grow. Oftentimes, when God seeks to have you take tangible steps toward adding value, He will show you the big picture. As exciting as these visions are, you cannot get their manifestation until you start to build yourself. You must work to fit into the plan, which requires a stretch of faith. This is because you might encounter a series of trials like Abraham before you start to live in the reality of what God showed you. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17 says, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." God allows these difficult moments to stir up development. If you must fulfill God's will, you must undergo refinement, and the trials will provide that atmosphere. Number 4. When you face situations that stretch you, these are periods that will require you to give answers that you do not have. God knows that you lack the experience, so He will purposely put you under pressure so that you can produce. It is not a mistake when your boss gives you a task you've never handled or have an idea of fixing. Instead of panicking, you can see this as God calling you into a process of training. He wants you to master your craft. When you accept the challenge and go through learning to get the job done, you will be building your mental prowess. You must be a person who accepts change because rigidity fights growth. You have to learn to grow at the pace at which God is leading you. Be comfortable not measuring your growth based on the success of others. If you must measure, do it by how far you improve from your previous self. You must understand that growth takes time. It does not have to be all at once. Even if it might not be noticeable, something is changing. Over time, you will see a clear difference. This is why you must be intentional about growing. You must show consistency in taking actions that support and encourage your advancements, no matter how challenging they may be. You have to make peace with the fact that growth will always be uncomfortable, especially because it calls you to live beyond the norm. Growth cannot happen in your comfort zone, so you must deviate or destroy what is in existence to create the new. Another thing you must know is that God will not set up a course without a reason. He has a purpose for everything He does. This is why you must keep your faith strong in Him as you go through this season. You must ask God to lead you to people who can help you during this period. They can be a source of strength and encouragement when you feel like giving up. Finally, you must submit your will to God so that He can work in you. Your growth period can be more strenuous if you keep holding on to your way of doing things. You must loosen your control and hand the wheels over to God. Allow Him to direct you on what you should fix. When you receive instructions from Him during your prayer or studying time, obey them. You must promptly follow everything that He tells you. As you take these steps towards growth, you will receive your blessings. If this video has blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe.